Hi, I'm Llinos. I'm here with Hannah. So me and Hannah are just going to talk a bit about budgeting, student finance, and give you a good idea of what to expect from when you go to uni. How have you found budgeting as your life as a student?
It was hard the first time round. All of a sudden you've got this big mass of money and then your rent goes out and you've got a bit left over and you're like, well, what do I spend this on? And the first term I found really hard because I didn't know how much I'd spend on food. I didn't know how expensive things were. It was the first time I lived on my own. But eventually you do learn how much you spend a week on food and what you're likely to eat and what your favourite things are to cook and the quick things. So you know how much you want to save aside to be going out on a night because you get to know your town. So don't worry too much in those first few weeks where the money's going. Just allow yourself to settle down, learn how much you're going to spend, and then after that you can start to work out your budgeting.
Yeah, because you're going to spend more in the first few weeks anyway than you would do during the rest of the year.
With freshers.
Yeah, exactly. It's a big week, so there's a lot going on. You just gradually get used to how much you're spending and when. But if you've got a rough idea, it makes it a lot easier to budget afterwards. But there's loads of different ways that you can save a lot of money as well, like getting student rail cards and discount cards and stuff. I mean, what kind of things have you got?
I mean, I got a rail card, which I bought the 3-year one because it was actually a lot cheaper than buying 3 times over. And I can save so much money on train fares, it's ridiculous. So I have that, and then I have loyalty cards to different supermarkets. So I save up my points, and then I get sent through discounts, which is always great, and it's just a little bit of extra money that I save. As well, I have an NUS card, and although you have to pay for that, it does give you more discounts in more places.
Yeah, you definitely get your money back for what you pay for it. Yeah.
And my student card as well, I always ask everywhere, do you have a student discount?
Yeah.
And a lot of the times it's surprising where they do, such as Nando's. Didn't know Nando's did it until the other day.
Yeah, genuinely, you'd be surprised what you get student discount for. And one of your favourite phrases is going to be, do you do student discount? So, and it's always worth giving it a go. Or you can save anything from 10% to 50% off in certain places, like travel, food, drink, cinema tickets, entry into nightclubs, and loads of different stuff. So it's always worth asking about student discount before you go anywhere. Also, it's always a good idea if you find you're really poor at budgeting to go and see if there's a student money advisor at the uni. And the amount of people who will buy a flat screen TV or technology with a first student loan and then can't eat for the rest of term is ridiculous. So don't do anything like that. Be sensible and think about where you're spending your money. And food obviously is another cost that you've got. There's various different ways that you can save money on food. A lot of my friends, when they were at uni, they used to do like value weeks, where they just buy all the value brands for a whole week and then decide which ones they liked and then carried on buying them and supplementing with them with brands and stuff afterwards. Or if you cook with your flatmates, that's going to save you a bit of money as well. So instead of cooking for yourself every single night, cook for a few people and then they can cook for you. And if you're a really bad cook, then that saves you having to eat your own food as well.
I found that having a freezer was actually a big way to save money because buying fresh food was nice and it was healthy, but a lot of the time if you can buy frozen stuff, it's a lot easier and cheaper and it doesn't go off as quick, so it saves a lot of money and you're not throwing away good food.
Obviously, socialising is going to be another big thing that you need to spend your money on, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely, like saving a bit of money to going out. So even though if you are budgeting, you are allowed some fun now and again. But there is free activities around. For example, we have beaches here which we can go and have a walk on, and there's different things you can go and do. Just having a picnic, for example, is one thing that's really fun, that's free.
And you can pass your time without spending too much money that way. And one other thing that people really forget about and don't always factor in is books and course equipment, because you are going to have to spend some money on that whilst you're a student as well. Yeah. So it's always handy things that you can do to save money, like if you can buy second-hand books from second or third year students, because they always want to sell them, and if you want to buy them cheaper, everybody's happy. But these are going to be your main sort of costs whilst you're at uni. You should always avoid any store cards or credit cards, and ideally avoid an overdraft as well, shouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean, having an overdraft I've found is actually quite useful, because sometimes my rent would come out before my loan came in, and so having that overdraft meant that I wasn't going to be in trouble for not paying my rent. I could use it, but I knew I had to pay it back immediately, and whenever I do go into my overdraft, it's an emergency situation, and it is good to fall back on and it is good to have, but don't take that as free money. It's not. And you've got to pay it back as soon as you go in it.
Because it is a good buffer, like Hannah's saying, but you don't want to let it just sit there and get larger and larger. Because especially if you open a student bank account, they'll entice you with loads of different deals and stuff, like you can get free rail cards or iTunes vouchers and that sort of stuff. but you just need to double check the terms and conditions as well, because quite often student overdrafts are free of interest, but the minute you stop being a student they can whack a really high interest on there. So you don't want to be massively in your overdraft either when you graduate, because then you're going to have to be paying for it as well. And you work as well, don't you, to earn some money whilst you're a student?
So it's really good having a part-time job. I end up having 3 at the moment, all like small hours, but they're all kind of spread out along the week. And I've managed to get a job with the university as well, which is great. And a lot of universities do offer jobs for students. And being in term time as well means you can go home in the summer and it's not going to affect it.
And what's good about that is you don't have to sign up to regular hours all the time either if you work for a uni. It's just as and when you're available. And if you've got a job at home over the summer, it might be worth checking with the company if they're based at the uni you're going to, whether you can transfer the job over with them.
So we hope you found this video really useful, and there's lots of tips available for your finance at university. If you're a student or you're getting ready for university, leave us a comment and let us know your worries or what you think your tips were, any budgeting things, and just kind of share them with other people. Make sure you come back soon for some more videos and helpful tips, and take a look through the channel and make sure you subscribe so you can know when we upload a new video.